This one might be quite a big open question, but what are some of the biggest or most common, most frequent things that you see other guys doing um, completely wrong? Like, what are the most common mistakes you see that you kind of
Yeah.
maybe cringe inside, or you're like, this really needs to be done?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, so the things that I can see, the things that I can easily see, I know that the conversation is going to be bad, but there are things that I can easily see that most people are doing wrong, and it's a list that a lot of guys are guilty of, and most of my students have to go over it with them for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the 4 week program, a 5 weekend program. So what I see is being too invested in terms of body language and communication pattern with the girls that you're talking to. Now, we made a video before about selling, trying to sell the girl and trying to control the girl, and all of these body languages are incorrect. So here's a list of things that you're probably doing incorrectly, and then I'll tell you the opposite of how you should be doing them correctly. So things that I see that make me cringe, that make me vomit, are I see the guy too invested. Now, first of all, when you speak to a person, your weight should be through the heel of your feet rather than the front of your foot, right? So that way you're leaning into your heels and the weight is in your hips, so your upper body is like nice and loose. What most guys do is they put they're leaning forward, their eyes go wide, which actually makes their chest tight, their throat tight, their face tight, and that just shows that you're too invested. It shows that you care and you're outcome dependent and you don't have a sense of abundance. However, if you're down here, then you're loose in the shoulders and then you can express yourself better. So weight in the right place first. Next, a drill that I do with my clients is they need to keep their hands above their belly button. All right. So kind of zooming in down here. So I make them put their hands here. As you can see all my illustrious, messy room. Make them put their hands here and then they can't drop down. Because if their hands are just here, if your hands are there, then your shoulders are dead and you're just talking through your mouth. If your hands are here, at least you're starting to express yourself with your shoulders and your face, almost like you're boxing. So sometimes I get my guys to be boxing when they're talking. So next thing, hands above the belly button when you're talking. Hold them together or start using them in a dancing way. Moving up even more, guys often have their chest pointed towards the girl when they're talking to them, but your chest really should be pointed towards the DJ or the bartender, and you should be kind of speaking over your shoulder, right? That is very disarming body language, as opposed to being, fixated. Like, hey, what are you saying? What's going on? Like trying to keep yourself too involved. You want to be more like, so nice to talk to you, checking around. So next thing on the list is dividing your attention. So talking with them, touching them on the shoulder. Sometimes I touch them on the shoulder this way, talking, chatting, winning them like side by side, but continually checking the DJ and the bartender, stuff like that. And students will say, but shouldn't you make strong eye contact? No, you shouldn't. How do I know? Because I'm the world's most experienced infield dating coach. I can do it as well. If I can stand there like having this like intense eye contact. So I've got red paint on the walls here. I look like I'm red. I can do intense eye contact, but it's not good. It doesn't work. Doing such intense eye contact from David D'Angelo in like 2004, it puts the person under pressure as though they're forced to speak on stage. So you don't want that. So divide your eye contact, divide your posture, add touching on the shoulder, which is good. A lot of guys hold their breath when they're listening, like breathe, motherfuckers, fucking breathe. Don't hold your breath when you're talking. Okay, remember to breathe, act distracted. Don't let me stop you, but keep the conversation going. So divide your eye contact. And then another thing that all guys do is you're so fast to keep the conversation going that you almost cut the girl off. Try to let what the person has said wash over you, then come back. Unless, of course, it's banter when you're just cutting each other off all the time. That's fine. It's like an argument and banter, which is good. But otherwise, some guys they've already decided their response before the girl has finished saying that, which is basically you being a dictator rather than having a genuine interaction, like a back and forth dynamic in dance. So they are all, yeah, the wrong things to do, and then the right things to do. So really, you want to be a cool guy who keeps the interaction going, who looks divided, but you need to be approaching other people at the same time. I know for guys who are transitioning from scarcity into abundance, when you start approaching girls for the first time, you think, fuck, I've got something going. Pay attention. Don't lose what I've got. Don't freak out. That kind of stuff. And of course, it's just going to send the wrong signal. It's a complete beginner's mistake, but it's the natural big way to begin your interaction if you've never really done this before, which is the nature of this whole community, right? When we do our 5-week program, I usually spend the first 2 weeks ironing these things out. And then I point out to the students, like, look at the positive reinforcement when you're not trying to control her and attract the beam. When you neutralize your body language, talk over your shoulder, she relaxes, she invests more, the dynamic is correct, and she positively responds when you ask for the number. It's like, well, she wasn't giving me any IOIs. She doesn't have to. She's looking for a cool guy to begin with. If you can remain cool, don't give in to being uncool, then the results are going to come. So that they are the cringy things that suck, that the guys suck. And I see guys doing it in the club all the time, and they just look so worried. So yeah, there you go.